Let's make our confidence picks for Week 17 of the NFL schedule. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Quick reminder, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Come on by and join the fun. All right, let's get right into this. It is Week 17 of the NFL season. Just 2 weeks left to go. It goes by faster than just about anything in the world, doesn't it? Well, we make our confidence picks every single week. We don't pick against the spread. We pick winners. And also, we rank the games from 16, the game we have the most confidence in, down to 1. The games we have the least confidence in. We're going to get into that in just one quick minute. But before we do that, let's take a look at where we are as we do every week. So through 16 weeks, with week 16, we had a really good week. Went 12-4, 95 points. Can't complain about that. Very good record. Not the highest individual week score, but still pretty good. For the season, that takes us to 149 wins and 91 losses, 1,300 points, and we jumped 2.1% in the overall standings. We're at the 95.2 percentile. I'm feeling really good about that. That's actually very close to where we finished last year, which was 95.4. So, 2 weeks left to go, and we always know the last week of the season is just about the hardest week there is to pick. So, we got to have a good week right now. Let's get into these games. So my number 16 game, the game I've got the supreme confidence in, is going to be the San Francisco 49ers at the Washington Commandskins. Do you think the Niners are going to come out angry for this game? Now, Jacoby Brissett was supposed to be starting at quarterback for Washington. He would be starting for sure, but as of Friday, he popped up on the injury report with a hamstring injury. Now, I know the Niners have a 3,000-mile trip coming off a short week. I'm not saying this is going to be a complete romp, but still, it's that Washington defense, the worst ranked in the league, against all that San Francisco has to offer. I could see 60 combined points in this game, especially if Jacoby Brissett plays. So give me the Niners, best bet. Number 15, the Arizona Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, Kyler Murray has not been too great in his return from knee surgery. The Eagles, clearly the better team. My one hesitation with this is that Arizona coach Jonathan Gannon knows the Eagles very well, as he used to be their defensive coordinator. Maybe his new players put in a big effort for him. Maybe. But the Arizona defense ranks last at stopping the run. They're not going to stop Hurts, Swift, Gainwell, throw in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. So give me the Eagles at home, number 15. My 14 pick is the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Bills have that showdown next week against Miami, and they're coming off a very scary win against a lackluster opponent. Now, the Patriots did get a win Sunday night, but they're just outmanned at every position on the field practically. And this game is in Buffalo, where Josh Allen is 6-1 with 16 passing touchdowns versus just 5 interceptions. You know, Buffalo looks like they're really starting to click. I think they win this one pretty easily, get one step closer to a playoff spot. It's pretty amazing to me. There were a lot of people before the season who really felt Buffalo was going to take a big fall. Well, they may not win the AFC East, but when things are right, they're still one of the best teams in the league. Number 13, the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags coming off 4 straight defeats. If they can't beat Carolina at home, they may as well fold up the tent, pack up the lanterns, and leave the grounds. You know, I don't care that Trevor Lawrence is out at quarterback. I don't care if it's C.J. Beathard, Mark Brunell, Byron Leftwich. I don't care if it's Blake Bortles. They have to win this game. Carolina last week gave up 162 yards on the ground. Paging Travis Etienne might be your game this week. All right, number 12, the Houston Texans hosting the Tennessee Titans. It looks like it will be C.J. Stroud and Will Levis at quarterback, as it should be, with the 2 rookies going. I do expect a pretty tight game. The Titans do always battle but Stroud is the X factor. I think Houston wins this game, and they clinch a winning record for the first time since 2019. My number 11 game was the Thursday night just absolute beatdown with the Jets and the Browns. I feel how most people felt. It was a terrible matchup for the Jets, especially with their offensive line going up against that defense. I felt David Njoku would have a big game. He absolutely did. I can't say I expected the Browns to score, 34 points in the first half, but I had given the Browns my number 11 pick, and that's how it turned out to go. Number 10, the LA Rams at the New York Giants. I love what I'm seeing from the Rams. 5-1 in their last 6 games, no losses in regulation during that time. Matthew Stafford playing super well. Now he faces a defense in the Giants that is last in quarterback pressure percentage since week 9. I'm a little bit scared of Puka Nacua because I'm going against him in my fantasy championship league, but I think Tyrod Taylor will keep the Giants close. He has a high floor, but give me the Rams. Give me the Rams on the road. Number 9. You might be a little surprised I've got this game quite this high, but I'm going with the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys with the Saturday game. So Detroit clinched their first division title in 30 years last week. Congratulations to them. With that accomplished, I think a letdown is in order. Now they're going to Arlington to face a Cowboy team that is brutally hard to beat in that building. The Cowboys have won 15 games in a row at home. That includes 7 during just this season. And in those 7 wins, they have won by an average of 27.7 points per game. That's nearly 4 touchdowns, man. Insane. I think the Lions will put some points up, but it's a Dallas one. Number 8, the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Usually these elite games, you pick them a little bit lower because out of respect for both teams, but I'll tell you what, I'm going with the Ravens in this game. This is going to be fun. So let's look at a few factors here. The forecast for this week's game is calling for a high of 45 degrees in Baltimore. Advantage Ravens. Since the start of the 2017 season, the Dolphins are 1-14 when the kickoff temperature is 45 and below. That includes an 0-4 record with Mike McDaniel, the immortal Mike McDaniel, as their coach. Advantage Ravens. Baltimore has everything to play for. If they win this game, they clinch the division, the first round bye, and home field advantage. Advantage Ravens. For the season, Tua's passing grade when he's kept protected is 93.5 versus 54.0 and under pressure. And who leads the league in sacks? What team leads the league in sacks? You guessed it, Baltimore. Advantage Ravens. Also, the Dolphins won't have Jalen Waddle at wide receiver likely with his ankle injury. Advantage, you caught on by now. All right, Baltimore is who I'm taking. Number 7, the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This NFC South is so bad, it's kind of exciting in a twisted, demented sort of fashion. The Saints are 1-8 in any game this season where their opponent scores at least 18 points, and a big reason for that is just the disappointing play of this offense, particularly Derek Carr. And then entering Week 16, Baker Mayfield has more passing yards, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions as well, and he's making a whole lot less money. All right? Tampa Bay has won 4 straight. They haven't lost a game at home in 2 months. They have a front 7 of Cape containing Alvin Kamara, who is actually banged up. And if you want the crazy stat of the week, here it is for you. This will be the Saints' first outdoor game since Week 5, and we're on Week 17. Man, think Todd Bowles will actually be coaching a home playoff game. It's rather unbelievable. Number 6, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Seattle Seahawks. I think this is the sneaky gem of the week to watch. You got 2 8-7 teams trying to stay alive. Mike Tomlin versus Pete Carroll on the sidelines. I just still don't trust this Pittsburgh offense. So through 15 games, the Steelers have topped 340 yards only twice, and both of those times it was against the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Steelers' offense has really struggled on the road, averaging less than 16 points per game. They're just 3-3 away from Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are 16-4 in their last 20 home games against AFC teams. I'm taking Seattle at home. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. So both of these teams probably need this game to stay alive. Why are the Vikings such a favorite? I feel like everybody is picking Minnesota. I don't really see it. TJ Hawkinson is out for the rest of the year. Now, I know with the Green Bay defense, Jair Alexander is suspended due to acting like a knucklehead. So I guess it'll be Eric Stokes trying to cover Justin Jefferson. But it's Jaron Hall at quarterback from Minnesota. Who knows what he gives you? I like Jordan Love to have a big game against a struggling Minnesota defense. I'm taking the Packers in, I think, what most people would call an upset. Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. The Bears really do look like a team to watch out for next year. I'm taking the Bears. Their defense just keeps getting better. I mean, Montez Sweat, what an acquisition he was. Atlanta, that was one upset that I did call correctly last week. They had a really good win at home over the Colts, but the Falcons are only 2-5 on the road. Now they're going to Soldier Field in the cold, where opposing teams have gone 0-4 with a -6 turnover margin since last October. No, I'm not sold on it. Bears take it. Number 3, the LA Chargers of San Diego versus the Broncos of Denver. It's Jared Stidham against Easton Stick. If that doesn't say preseason. But give the Chargers credit for battling the Bills as well as they did last week. I don't think they're doing it for a second straight week. I'm giving Denver the Duke. But I got to tell you, without Russell Wilson playing in this game, I took this game from about a 9 or a 10 all the way down to a 3. That's how little confidence I have in Stidham. All right, number 2, one of the definite marquee games of the week, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. It's such a tough call. Is it time to stop trusting Mahomes, Reed, and company? Kansas City has dropped 4 of their last 6. They're 1-3 in December. They haven't had a losing record in December since 2013. The receivers can't get open. The offensive line can't protect Mahomes. The Chiefs' running game is about non-existent. They're averaging 70 yards per game over the last 3 weeks. And as for the Bengals, their playoff hopes are barely alive. But here's the thing. They always seem to bring their best versus Kansas City. In the last 4 games head-to-head that these two teams have had, Cincinnati has won 3 of them. And Cincinnati is 6-1 when they hold their opponents to 20 points or less. And with the way Kansas City's offense is playing right now, would it be surprising if they did that? But Jamar Chase is iffy at best. That's a concern, but at least his mouth is working in high gear. I'm taking Kansas City one more time, but I got to tell you, I hate this pick. I've only got it at a number 2. And the game I've got the least confidence in, the one that I think is probably the biggest toss-up, is going to be the Raiders at the Colts. I'm taking the Raiders. Now, I think Indy is going to be a little shaken after getting trounced by Atlanta. And the Raiders, they still believe they have a chance at this, at making the playoffs. Their defense has enough to rattle Gardner Minshew into a few turnovers. Now, Josh Jacobs is not supposed to play, but still, Antonio Pierce, he just has a way of rallying this team. It's working. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, but I just think the Raiders have a little bit of that good mojo going. That's why I'm taking them in this game, for really no other reason. Well, those are my picks for Week 17. Let's see your picks. Put them right down there in the comments. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.